let's just go ahead and break this down. If you have not already seen the video of how I came into Christ from New Age spirituality, then definitely go check that video out. Once you spiritually dedicate yourself to the good side, I have to tell you that, baby, it is not all peaches and cream. Like, God does love us. God does take care of us. God does bless us. God never leaves us nor forsakes us, right? But you know, anytime you pick a side, you are choosing to war against the other side. And I don't think I understood that until like a month ago. I rededicated my life to Christ in December 2020. It is currently November 11th, 2021. So almost a full year, right? I have to recap this year for y'all. StreadysOrganics has definitely been working on a restock. That was one drawer full of merchandise, product that I have been working on restocking. And yeah, like I said, I just feel good and secure in my position. And the reason I'm able to have this like security beyond my physical circumstances or my physical reality is because of who God has told me I am and the things he has revealed for me to do in this life, the storyline. I rededicated my life to Christ in December 2020, and I think that's pretty much where I left off. When I started this YouTube channel, I don't think I had a church home yet, or maybe I had just started going. I'm not sure, but I had prayed and asked God to send me a church home. And one day when I was on YouTube, because I was just getting my spiritual teachings from like Sarah Jakes Roberts or Pastor Michael Todd off of YouTube, and like spiritual realities. I was getting all my information off YouTube basically. So I had prayed to God to reveal a church home to me. And one day I was watching videos of Sister Tiffany Buckner. She has a YouTube channel. I'll also link her channel below. I love her. In one of her videos I was watching, she mentioned that she attended a church called Embassy City. I didn't know at the time that she lived in Atlanta. She just continued to talk about it, and I realized that she was located in Atlanta. So I was just really curious one Sunday, and I said, you know what, Lord, I asked you to reveal a church home to me, and you did. So I'm going to visit this church. This was in March. I had just moved into this apartment from being homeless, living in a hotel. I had just, I maybe had just gotten my car a month prior. I had just started a job at a law firm, and everything was just new. So I was like, you know what? This is another new beginning, so let's just go into it. And I went one Sunday and I loved it. And I went back and I loved it. And I just kept going. I think after 3 weeks, I decided to join. Maybe I'm one of very few, but for the very few who are like me, I'm going to tell you what they don't tell you about once you get involved in being in touch with your spiritual self, being a Christian, being on the good side of the spiritual warfare. Okay, so I never really felt like there was a good and bad to spirituality, because coming from New Age, they tell you everything is everything. Like, yeah, you have good intentions and bad intentions, but overall the energy is energy, you know. So they don't really put emphasis on like these spirits are bad, these spirits are good, and they're like consistently fighting for your soul. Once you decide that you believe in God, it's inevitable for you to believe in a lower nature, even if it's not necessarily the devil, but it's inevitable for you to not believe in the lower nature of self, of mind, of energy, or anything. So if God is, trying to get you into his kingdom, don't you know that the lower nature is also trying to get you into that abode? I didn't understand that until like a month or so ago. And I'm just willy-nilly, I done rededicated my life to Christ. Like, thank you guys so much for saving me. Now it's gonna be peaches and cream, right? Like, it's just gonna take off. I just knew everything that I had in store was about to take off. Okay? No. No. Okay, so in New Age spirituality, it talks about healing, cutting people off, just wanting the best for yourself. So when I became a Christian or rededicated my life to Christ, I pretty much felt like I had it down pat. Like everybody I met from this point forward, even though they may not become a close friend, I pretty much wouldn't have the issues I had previously. I rededicated my life in December. I joined the church end of March. So about April-ish, everything's flowing smoothly until like May. So I'm meeting new people. People are coming into my life and I'm not realizing that. So the devil is sending people into my life, try to pull me back, right? But God is sending people in my life, pulling me this way. So I literally, for like the entire summer, this past summer, I was battling like, I'm the ring, right? I have the devil pulling me one way and God pulling me the other way. And I'm just like in the middle, like I can feel like it was crazy because like the people who weren't meant to be in my life, I was having problems with them or we just wasn't connecting or like I just I don't know. Okay, you know how people like they don't influence you to do something, but they kind of make you feel like either decision is okay or it's not that serious if you don't go to church, if you missed this Sunday. It's not that serious if you in the church and you fornicating and stuff like that. So I'm freshly in the church, but I'm still partaking in worldly, lower nature activities. Like I'm not fully fledged in it like I had been before, but I wasn't completely done. Like it'll be like a once every month kind of thing. I would do something that was sinful or, not of God. And I felt like it was okay because I'm not doing it all the time. Like that doesn't make me a bad person. That doesn't mean I don't love God. So I was going through that back and forth fight for the longest. And it was at a point where I felt like I wasn't gonna progress until I left everything behind. I really got to a point where I felt like my spiritual growth wasn't going to advance until I actually left my lower nature desires behind. It's like temptation. That's what it is. You will be tempted. That's number one. You will be tempted. And until you stand firm on your new life decisions, which is the person that you became once you dedicated your life to Christ, when you dedicate your life to Christ, you literally are, I'm telling y'all, do not say the prayer of salvation until you are ready to die. I say die, I mean leaving your old self identity behind. I'm talking about all of it got to go. Like, do not dedicate your life to Christ until you are ready to die to your old self. Because you will be tempted beyond measures. And in order to live out the life that God has for you, he'll love you, he'll still accept you. And once you say that prayer of salvation, you're his forever. But if you continue to live in that lower nature, that sinful nature, after saying the prayer of salvation, you will become so stagnant, like nothing's going to advance, nothing. Like it's always going to be an opportunity, a test to see if you will continue to do something that you basically should not be participating in. And until you fully let it go, it's going to keep tempting you. If your problem is fornicating, sex, and you dedicate your life to Christ, you one of the codes we live by is to save yourself until you're married. So if you're addicted to sex and now you're dedicating your life to Christ, you're going to be tempted. Like, it doesn't just go away, like it's not just like one day you wake up, oh, I never want to do it again. No, every day is a daily decision to not do something that's tempting you until you fully stand on it. And then, the temptations go away. They're not as strong, or even if they are present, you kind of won't even notice if you're being tempted. Like, I could go around somebody right now, and if they're smoking weed, I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, it happened to me, actually. It happened to me a few weeks ago. I was around somebody, and they were smoking, and it was like, you won't? And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't smoke no more. And that was growth because I meant it. Like, it's different if you're like, oh, I really want to smoke this weed. Like, I really meant, like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. But that's step one of what comes with dedicating your life to Christ. Learning to resist temptation, being tested, being tempted. It's going to happen. Nobody told me that I was going to be tempted. Nobody told me that. I actually had to have a conversation with my grandmother to really understand, like, what's going on. Like, I'm always being tested, like, all the time. And she explained to me, it's a choice. It becomes a choice. Like, if you're really in the kingdom, what you gonna do to make yourself worthy of everything God has for you? It's like going in the store. Like, you can come in the store. God is like, I'm not gonna turn you down. You could come into the kingdom. All you gotta do is say the prayer of salvation. You could come into the kingdom. But once you go in the store, that don't mean you can buy stuff unless you got money. You have to give something to get something. And in the kingdom of God, it's the exact same way. You have to give up your life. Give up your lower nature temptations and desires. Give them up. And you will get everything God has for you. You do have to have patience. Okay, this ain't a stove for real, but nobody had explained that to me. Like, I still consider myself to be a babe in Christ. So I'm really just learning this as I go, and I'm sharing this with you all. So y'all are growing with me. But yeah, you have to give up your life to get the life that God has for you in the kingdom. So you're not going to come into the kingdom and do this stuff, this worldly stuff, and expect God to give you the new desires of your heart or what he has for you. Because what he has for you is beyond what you can even imagine. So you do have to live biblically. Easy for me to resist temptation because I finally understood, like, you're not being tested as a sick joke. Like, because I remember I thought it was a sick joke, like everybody else doing da-da-da-da-da. But then I had to realize, like, you are comparing what you do as a child of God to people who have never said the prayer of salvation in their life. Like, yeah, they look just like you. They're your age. These are people you've hung around, went to school with. Everything they do seem to be taken off, but ain't nothing taken off for you. And that's because you're comparing your kingdom life to a worldly life. If you was in the world doing whatever you want to do, basically serving the purpose of the lower nature, you would have had all that too. But it comes with depression, anxiety, mistreatment of people, or you mistreating people. It comes with all kind of baggage, okay? It comes with baggage. And I did get to a point where I questioned. I'm like, well, I want to be in the world then. If I got to be doing all this, I can't do what I want to do. Like, I'm only 23. Why I got to stop going to the club? I'm only 23. Why I got to stop smoking weed? Why I got to stop drinking alcohol? Like, I'm too young for that. I kept saying, I'm too young for that. Why I can't wear this? Why I can't wear that? Why I gotta dress modestly? And it was like, nobody was telling me I had to, but I would feel so convicted every time I did something I wasn't supposed to be doing. And I would like, why am I feeling so bad? And so it was like me battling me the whole time. I was battling myself the entire time. Oh my God. Until I finally realized your lower nature or the devil is fighting with God for you. And that goes for everybody. The devil and God are battling for you. And y'all know that the war was already won by Jesus Christ, right? Y'all do know that, right? It's actually already won. You just gotta secure your spot. Okay? Yeah, I'm just saying. The second thing they don't tell you is spiritual warfare. Once the devil realizes he can't tempt you, right? You're not going to stray away from what God told you to do. You're not going to succumb to your desires when you were of the world. You're like fully righteously going to walk in the upright path that God has for you, right? That is when you hit the boulder in the path called spiritual warfare. Now, if you thought temptation was hard, if you think it sounds hard from what I just told you, which it was, it was spiritual warfare. Lord, you know my heart. I gotta be honest with him. It about took me out. Y'all, spiritual warfare almost knocked my head off. Like, it was just, I'm not joking. Spiritual warfare almost knocked my head off. There was an event at church that I was supposed to dance at. It was a Create conference. Even like a whole bunch of different speakers were coming and musicians, like even Ty Tribbett came, and I was supposed to dance all 3 days. I was going through such a tough time financially that I decided not to dance at this event. And I talked to my ministry leader who's over the dance ministry, and I told her, like, I'm having the toughest time. I'm trying to make sure my bills are paid. I can't even afford to take off these 3 days and dance at this event. And she asked me, have you been praying? It's the first thing she asked me. And I was offended. I was not like angry, kind of offended, but I just was like, I'm going through financial problems. Why are you asking me, have I been praying? You know, like, of course I in my head, I'm like, of course I haven't been praying. I got to get up and make some money. Of course I ain't praying. That's the last thing on my mind is go in the closet and pray. Like, you know, I just was like, what are you talking about? So I was like, I told her, I was honest. I was like, no, I haven't prayed. Like, cause I felt like, why did you even ask me this? So I'm like, no, I haven't prayed. And she said, well, did God tell you to miss the event? Me with my attitude. Yeah, he did. So I worked those days. The event was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think I spoke to her about this on Monday or Tuesday of that same week. So Wednesday, Tuesday, well, really Monday, while she was talking to me, I was out working. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm out here trying to make money. It ain't happening. Like, I was doing Instacart. It wasn't it was no money coming in. Like, I had goals of like 150 for the day. I would make like 80. Like, it wasn't happening. So the last day to pay rent was that Sunday, or Monday, one of those. So Saturday comes and I finally start praying. I'm like, you know what, God, what do you want me to do? And God told me to wash my car and clean up my apartment. So I said, I need to make some money. I literally do not have it. I don't know where it's going to come from. I had no clue how it was going to get paid. I think I needed like $200 more. And God told me to wash my car and clean up my apartment. So I did. And when I came back from washing my car in my neighborhood, I pulled up and my upstairs neighbor was outside, and she was like, you blocked me? Because I had changed my number like the week before. And I was like, girl, no, I ain't blocked you. I changed my number. So I walked upstairs, gave her my number. She was like, okay, because I really need you to do my kids' hair. She was like, I've been trying to get in touch with you. I've been trying to catch you at home, but you ain't been home. I did her kids' hair, both of them, and made the money that I needed for my rent. All because I prayed and asked God what he wanted me to do. And I did it, and I obeyed it, right? So after that happened, I was disappointed. Why was I disappointed? I was disappointed because I had been trying to make that money Thursday, Friday, and that day, Saturday. And I didn't. I couldn't come up with it. And I just was like, God, why am I going through this? Why am I going through this? And it's because I was supposed to be dancing. God had already worked it out for me to do hair and come up with the money that I needed to pay my bills. He had already worked it out. This was God's plan that I didn't stick to. You're going to dance Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You're not going to worry about making any money. And on Saturday, after you leave from the event, you will have 2 heads to do. That'll be that money that you were missing out on for the past 3 days. I decided to miss the event because I can't afford to be going to this event on the maybe and not being able to make my money. Like, I need to get out here and make my money. I was so disappointed that I missed the event. But I fully understood that it was spiritual warfare because the devil came to me. And God allows spiritual warfare just to see how much faith you have in him and how much you trust him, right? So the devil came to me. God allowed me to not have all the funds for my rent. Okay, that's first. No, spiritual warfare, God allows it. He does. Because he's right there to guide you through it if you let him. Okay, so God allowed me to not have all the money for my rent. And the devil came to me. It was like, you really finna dance? You finna put dancing in the church over making money, and you finna not make your rent payments? Like, your priorities messed up, you know, right? I wasn't praying. I'm just listening to this voice in my head, like, you know. And then I had a friend I had people around me who didn't understand it either, because I mean, logically, it didn't make no sense to choose to dance for 3 days and you know you got to make money to pay your rent. Do it. It don't sound right. It sounds retarded. It sounds illogical. And I didn't pray to God about it, so I decided to miss the event. When my leader asked me had I been praying, even though I was honest about that, I didn't start to pray that day, right? And when she asked me, did God tell me to sit out of that event? I said yes without even asking God. So I lied on God. And also, first of all, I disregarded God, and I also lied on him. Because he didn't tell me to sit out of that event, because I didn't even ask. I didn't ask. Of spiritual warfare, I dedicated my prayer closet to praying. I had made that space previously. I think I made it in September, but I wasn't in a closet consistently. This wasn't an everyday thing. It was just when I felt like praying. And honestly, the way I lived my life, I wasn't really like feeling like I had to pray every day. I didn't think that was a thing. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. But spiritual warfare taught me that if you let your guard down for a second, the devil will come to you. So you have to be praying. And even when the devil does come to you and then you are in your time of spiritual warfare, you do have to be praying. So let me tell you how literally the past 2 weeks, I've also been like in this season of spiritual warfare. So the first rolls around again, and funds are looking a little crazy, right? But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pray and I'm going to ask God what I should do. God ain't tell me to do Nathan. At all. You know what God was telling me to do? Pray at 3:45 in the morning. Fast for 3 days straight. Watch and take notes on Dr. Charles Stanley. Go to dance rehearsal 3 times a week. Dance in the church and minister on Sunday mornings. Volunteer at this church event this Saturday. Guess what? My bills got paid. And he didn't just meet my needs. He exceeded my needs. And y'all wanna know why? Because when God told me to do nothing, it was hard. It was hard to do nothing knowing that my bills needed to be paid. But I obeyed. Now, was I perfect in my obedience? I could have been way more strict about following his directions. I could have. Because I think after a week, I wasn't getting up at 3:45. That quickly changed to 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 some days. It was tough to get up. It was. Like this morning, I woke up at 5:30. I looked at the time and I went right back to sleep. I didn't get up again till like 7 o'clock. I mean, I made it into the closet. I did. But was it at the time? No. So I do think that a few more prayers would have been answered had I been more strict about it. But it was the fact that I trusted him to meet my needs. I didn't even think about asking for more than my needs. I trusted him to meet my needs. So I did the bare minimum. I did what he asked to get my needs met. I did the bare minimum of what he asked so he could do the bare minimum for me and meet my needs. Now, had I exceeded what he asked of me, he would have exceeded even more than he did exceed, you know? And that's spiritual warfare. I knew I was in a season of spiritual warfare after already having been through it. So I was able to rest my head. I was able to follow his directions with way more faith than I had last time because I knew I was praying. I knew I was fasting. I knew I was being obedient. I knew I had faith. I knew he was going to do it. Did I know how? Did I know when? No. And y'all, I'm talking about the day before he came through for me, I was boo-hoo crying. I'm like, Lord, it's due tomorrow and I don't see it. I really told God, I said, I'm about to give up. I've never said that in my life. I've been through a lot in my life. Not once have I ever said I was about to give up. I said, God, I don't know what I did wrong to you. I don't know why I deserve this. But I literally can't do this without you. I said, God, there is like physically nothing. I had to tell, there is physically nothing I can do. Like, you're going to have to pull a miracle for this to happen, because I'm out. I'm out. And I fully depended on him to make it happen. He made it happen the next day. And let me tell y'all, I don't know if this is gonna always work. I don't know if this is the reason why he made it happen the next day, but y'all know what I did. Around like 9-10 o'clock that night, where I had that breakdown, I went in a prayer closet. I have a corner in there. I stretched it out and made a pallet, and I slept. I slept in my war room, and I talked to God before I went to sleep. I read John 10:10 before I went to sleep, and I slept in my prayer closet. And let me tell y'all what John 10:10 says, which was the only thing that kept me going. John 10:10, the thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I come that you may have life and that you may have it more abundantly. I asked God for anything that night. In that prayer room, I said, God, I don't even have too much to say. I just want to listen. I just want to be here. I said, I just want you to cover me while I sleep, because I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know what to do. And he placed John 10:10 on my heart. And then he also gave me John 14:10, which says, do you not believe that I am in the Father and the Father is in me? The words that I speak to you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwells in me, he does the work. So John 10:10 and John 14:10 carried me through that night, because the devil, it was basically letting me know that this is not me who is doing this to you. This is spiritual warfare to keep you from doing what you are to do in my kingdom. This is not me. I come to give you life and life more abundantly. I don't come to steal, kill, and destroy. That is the devil trying to destroy your spirits. That is the devil trying to destroy your hopes of everything working out in your favor. That is the devil trying to steal what I have in his kingdom for you. If you can just push through and make it through this week, y'all. That is the devil playing games on you, and I'm just trying to get you to focus on me. Focus on me. And I did it, y'all. I focused on God, and the next morning, everything was taken care of. Not rent for one day, not rent for 1 month, but for 2 months. Not car note for 1 month that I was backed up on, but for 2 months. Not light bill that I was backed up on, but light bill for the next month. Not groceries for a day, for a month. Not gas for today, gas for the next few weeks. Spiritual warfare, y'all. I didn't even mean to go preacher mode on y'all, but spiritual warfare is real. They don't tell you that. We don't tell you that. So I'm taking the initiative to tell you that. We, as children of God, as people who have dedicated our lives to the kingdom, we don't tell newcomers that once you step into this fold of beauty and sonship and priesthood, we don't tell you newcomers that it comes with temptation, it comes with spiritual warfare, It comes with trials and tribulations. It comes with difficulties. And we don't tell you guys that because we want to make it sound good to bring you into the fold. But us not telling you that, us leaving you ignorant, is the same thing that allows the devil to come get you and snatch you right back out. And I'm not having it. While I was going through this, when I would get on YouTube to find me a sermon that'll speak to me from Dr. Charles Stanley, or directions, or any kind of good that it would do for me, why did tarot videos start popping up? Why, when I would scroll on my TikTok, people are doing live readings? Things that I used to indulge in when I was of the world started to pop back up to tempt me, because the devil is in my mind to steal what God has for me. So he's telling me, like, God got you going through this. Why? Well, he must not be messing with you for real. So you might as well, if you finna be going through all this because you in his kingdom, then you might as well come back to New Age. Was I tempted? Girl, boy, I wanted to watch a tarot video so bad to tell me what was finna happen, because I just didn't know how this was gonna work. But I literally was like, don't recommend this channel, don't want to see this, not interested in that. I'm not, no, because nobody told me or taught me that when I first came into this new life. I didn't understand that this wasn't God doing this to me. This was spiritual warfare for my soul, to pull me back into where I came from, to keep me from all the good and the glory and the grace that God has for me, to keep me from the blessings that are in my future. You will be tested. You will be tempted. You will fight. When I say you will fight, don't be discouraged by anything that I'm saying. Don't be discouraged by temptation. Don't be discouraged by being tested. And don't be discouraged by having to fight, because you have the Almighty undefeated on your side. The battle is already won. You just have to make sure that you stay on the right side. I recommend a war room. Feed your spiritual man a healthy diet. So pray, feed your spiritual man a healthy diet, and talk to God. It's a fight for your soul. And I want as many souls as possible to be on the winning team. I mean, we are the winning team. It's a fixed fight, and we already won. God allowed Jesus Christ himself to go through trials and tribulations of being tempted, and he would not do it. So if you want the ultimate glory, what you finna come in his kingdom and give up to get it? Anyways, guys, I love you.